Good morning. Welcome to History of the Promise. It is a beautiful July 30th morning. We're almost out of here. All right, we are presented by He Promised Publications. Today we are doing episode number 10, which we are in this Genesis chapter 6. Okay, Genesis chapter 6. We've already gone through quite a few things that will seem new to some people. New to a lot of people because it was new to me, you know. You get the basics, but you don't get any of that deep down flavor. It's like having a piece of meat with no salt on it and then no seasonings. You know, it just keeps building up the more you learn. All right, well, let's get into this. Genesis chapter 6. Oh, and again, you need to start putting it on there. If you're interested in buying the books themselves, they're all in ebook form. The website is www.mia multiplied, and that's MIA multiplied altogether .net. All right, www.miamultiplied.net. All right, let's get going here. Genesis chapter 6 is about only 8 people in right ways with the Lord. Only 8 people out of all the people on the earth at that time, that were in right ways with the Lord. Okay. When men began to multiply on the surface of the ground and daughters were born to them, Yahweh's sons saw that men's daughters were beautiful, and they took any that they wanted for themselves as wives. Adonai said, "My spirit will not strive with man forever in his going astray. He is flesh, so his days will be 120 years. He numbered those days. And you notice before Noah, people were living 960, 800. They're living a whole bunch of years. At this point, Yahweh's fed up. He's fed up. And so I'm going to number their years. 120 is it. Okay. The Nephilim, or giants, were in the earth in those days, and also after that, when Yahweh's sons came in to men's daughters and had children with them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Adonai said that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of thoughts of a man's heart were continually only evil. Adonai was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him in his heart. Now that's intense. Somebody goes through let me stop. Let me just keep reading and we'll get to the questions, comments part. Okay. Adonai said, "I will destroy man whom I have created from the surface of the ground, man along with animals, creeping things, and birds of the sky, for I am sorry that I have made them." But Noah, found favor in the Lord's eyes. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time. Noah walked with Yahweh. We have heard this once before. His great, I don't know how many great-grandfather, Enoch, walked with the Lord. Okay. Noah became the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was corrupt before Yahweh, and the earth was filled with violence. Yahweh saw the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. Yahweh said to Noah, "I will bring an end to all flesh, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them and the earth." This is deep. "Make a ship of gopher wood. You shall make rooms in the ship, and shall seal it inside and outside with pitch." You can look some of these words up. This is how you shall make it. The length of the ship shall be 300 cubits. A cubit measures about 18 inches. Its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a roof in the ship, and you shall finish it to the cubit upward. You shall set the door of the ship in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third levels. This is a huge ship. I, even I, will bring the flood of waters on this earth to destroy all flesh, having the breath of life from under the sky. Remember, where did the breath of life come from? I'm not going to answer the question want you to dig around for that one. Go back to another video, or if you've got the book, go ahead and go in the book. Where did the breath of life come from? I shouldn't have said that yet, but it probably won't come up in the questions. All right, let me keep going. I get caught up. Y'all know me. Okay, so destroy all flesh having the breath of life from under the sky. Even that is, everything that is in the earth will die. But I will establish my vow with you. You shall come into the ship, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Of every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ship to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, of the livestock after their kind, of every creeping thing on the ground after its kind, 2 of every sort will come to you to keep them alive. Take with you some of all the food that is eaten, and gather it to yourself, and it will be for food for you and for them. Thus Noah did. He did all that Yahweh commanded. All right, so we're just going to get into the questions, comments section. And remember, as you're going through these questions and comments, if you need paper, if you need pencil, if you need to grab a book, if you want to get your Google set up with the Bible, however you want to do it, just remember, pause me and go do what you got to do, okay? All right, let's get started. At this time, Yahweh says he will make the lifespan of men 120 years. But men are still living to be quite old. What is the average lifespan of a man in our times? It's a Google question. And what is the oldest we are seeing in our day? What did Yahweh say about the thoughts of man? So, what's the oldest people are living to our day? And what did Yahweh say about the thoughts of man at this point? It's just a comment here. Yahweh was sorry he made man and sets a time for their total destruction. All men weren't destroyed at the time of the flood, as some were saved in the ark. Keep this in mind. All men weren't destroyed the first time he destroyed the earth. Keep this in mind. Comes up again. Noah is said to have walked with Yahweh. See, I told you I'd be jumping ahead. Who else was this said of earlier in the story? In your Bible, and this is not where you're going to get the answer, of course. I kind of just gave you the answer, but it's back in the last couple of chapters. Now, this is for you to do if you so choose. In your Bible or online, read Amos chapter 3, verse 3. And this should answer the question, how can someone walk with God? This is research for you. How can someone walk with God? Read Amos chapter 3, verse 3. All right, let's move on. Yahweh reveals his plans to destroy the inhabitants of the earth, man and animal, with a flood, and gives Noah plans to build an ark. What humans will be saved and why? What humans will be saved and why? Now I'm going to throw a twister in here real quick. During the time that Noah was building this boat, he was also preaching to the people. Preaching to the people to get them to change their ways and come onto the ship to be saved. But, and this just hit me right now, I never thought of it till right this moment. Yahweh had already said who was going to be saved. And if who he said was going to be saved was it, then nobody was going to accept the message from Noah. And yet, during all the time he was building this boat, he preached. So no one can ever say, you didn't even give me a chance. You didn't even give me a chance. You didn't. Trust me, we all get chances. We all get chances. We just don't pay attention to them until the jig is up. When the jig is up, all of a sudden, we're talking about, you never gave me a chance. And this is in real life with other people. But if you look back, you were given plenty of chances to get it right. Plenty of chances to get it right. I'm allowed. Okay, I had to look up and, hey, can I do this? I'm going to throw a story in. My ex-husband got more chances to do the right thing. He got 15 months worth of marriage. That was it. 15 months. He had asked me to be with him for 28 years back, but no, I wasn't getting down with what he was down with. And numerous chances in that 15 months. And I wasn't quiet about it. I wasn't mean. But I was vocalizing, hey, there's a couple issues. And the first thing he said when I packed up and left was, why did you leave? Give me a chance. Give me a chance to get this right. So, train. So I hope you guys can still hear me. I'll continue on in a second once it finishes horn blowing, which will be in a moment. There we go. Only blows the horn at the stops. Okay, so what happened was I left in October. A little bit of talking here and there. I went back for Thanksgiving. I gave him one last chance to admit, and to see where things flipped. And for a moment I saw a look in his eyes like he got it, but then who he was and who he was choosing to be took over. And that was it. But all he ever said, and threw it out to other people, she never even gave me a chance. Oh, he got plenty of chances. And the Lord does that too. But he already knew that giving these people a chance was not going to change their hearts. Because he specifically said, Noah, you, your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives. That's it. Those are the only people who are going to move forward at that point. Okay? Let's see. We got a couple more comments here. Comments or questions? Let's see. All right. Consider this. It is mentioned that 2 of every animal and creature on earth, the land, will be saved. Do you think the animals were adult animals, or adolescent or children? Animal children. Next question. Was there a need for Yahweh to save sea animals in the ark? Was there a need for sea animals to be in the ark? And then in your mind, why or why not? And like I say, if you have a question, you're not finding something, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I'll be going through the comments and I'll help you out as need be, okay? Noah did everything that Yahweh told him to do. This is called active faith. Active faith. It's not passive. You're doing something. Active faith. What would have happened if Noah only believed what Yahweh said but didn't do anything? What would have happened if Noah only believed but did not move forward in the faith of what he was being told to do? Okay? What kind of faith do we need to have today? This is the last question. What kind of faith do we need to have today? There are a lot of people out there. I believe. But they're not doing anything. And sitting up in a church does not mean you're doing something. You're going to church. You're listening to the word. But what are you doing? What are you doing for others? What are you doing in accordance to what has been taught in the Bible, those of you who read it? Okay? There is a job to do. And, we have a little bit of time. I'm going to throw this one little thing out. when I was in my late 30s, early 40s, I had a moment of wanting to know how to think about God all the time. I was looking for books and everything else. But during that period of time, I started to hear, and it was real soft, because we won't get into what I was doing up until my late 30s, early 40s, okay? I started to hear little things. Like I would be at work. I told you I was a nurse. And I would be walking down the hallway, and I would see a piece of trash on the floor. And I would walk past it like everybody else, okay? And I would hear, go back and pick that up. And it would be soft. But it was enough at that point to make me stop for a second. And then I'd hear it again, but soft, not loud. Go pick that up. And I'd turn around and go pick up the trash and dispose of it and keep on. And literally, that is where he started with me. Can you be obedient in the little things that don't seem to matter to you? Obedience is practiced. And I'm going to tell you right now, after all these years, it gets louder. I just wanted to give you guys a shot. And it gets bigger and more purposeful, makes more sense to you and your life. But you gotta start somewhere. None of us were able to crawl before we could. Took practice. None of us could walk before we could. Took practice. And it's the same thing. So I'm gonna leave you with this today. If you're starting to hear little things, to do little things that seem nonsensical to you or like they don't matter, do them anyway. If somebody says, give that man $1, give that man $1. It's little things. Because if you cannot be trusted to do the little things, you sure as heck ain't going to be trusted to do the big things. All right? Well, with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get out of here because the geese are ready to come up onto the beach and do their sunbathing and whatever it is they do. So I'm going to get out of their way and let them do them. And you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you later.